Two people can earn the exact same salary their entire life, and 20 years later, one of them is financially free, and the other is still living paycheck to paycheck. It's not luck. It's not a secret investment nobody told you about. It's a handful of decisions repeated quietly, week after week, until they compound into two completely different lives. Today, we're breaking down the actual mindset differences and the specific mistakes that quietly keep people stuck, even when they're working just as hard as anyone else. Mistake number 1: confusing an asset with a liability. Here's the simple definition almost nobody actually uses. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. A fancy car, a bigger house than you need, a closet full of things bought to look successful. All of that takes money out every single month. People with a poor mindset buy liabilities and call them assets because they look like wealth from the outside. People with a rich mindset buy actual assets first: stocks, businesses, property that generates income, and only buy the liabilities once the assets are already paying for them. Mistake number 2: working for money instead of making money work. A paycheck stops the moment you stop working. That's the entire problem with relying on a single income stream. People with a rich mindset treat their first job as a source of capital, not a final destination. Every extra dollar gets pointed at something that can eventually earn money on its own: index funds, a small side business, real estate, anything that keeps generating income while they sleep. People with a poor mindset spend every raise the moment it arrives, which means the income goes up, but the freedom never does. Mistake number 3: avoiding all financial education because it feels boring or intimidating. Nobody teaches this in school, so most people just avoid the topic entirely for their whole life. They don't read one book on investing. They don't learn what a compound interest actually means in real numbers. They don't understand their own credit score or how interest rates affect their own mortgage. Wealthy people are not smarter. They simply refuse to stay ignorant about the one subject that controls almost every major decision in their life. Even 30 minutes a week of real financial reading compounds into a completely different level of decision-making within a few years. Mistake number 4: choosing comfort over calculated risk. Poor mindset treats risk as something to avoid completely. Rich mindset treats risk as something to understand and manage, not eliminate. Keeping all your money in a savings account earning almost nothing feels safe, but inflation is quietly eating it every single year. That's not actually safety. That's a slow, guaranteed loss. It just doesn't feel like one because nothing dramatic happens in any single month. Real wealth almost always requires taking on some calculated, well-researched risk, buying an asset that could go up or down in value, instead of parking everything somewhere that guarantees it slowly shrinks. Mistake number 5: letting lifestyle expand every time income does. This one is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most common trap at every income level, from minimum wage to 6 figures. Someone gets a raise, and within a month, their car payment goes up, their apartment gets bigger, their monthly subscriptions multiply. The income increased, but so did every single expense. So the gap between what they earn and what they keep never actually grows. People with a rich mindset deliberately keep their lifestyle a full step behind their income and invest the difference instead of spending it. That gap, held consistently for years, is genuinely where most real wealth quietly gets built. Mistake number 6: avoiding your own numbers out of fear. People with a poor mindset often don't know their own credit score, their own total debt, or their own monthly spending, because looking feels uncomfortable. People with a rich mindset check these numbers regularly, even when the news is bad, especially when the news is bad. You cannot fix a number you refuse to look at. Avoidance doesn't make debt disappear. It just makes it grow quietly in the dark while you're not watching. Mistake number 7. Treating money as identity instead of as a tool. For some people, spending becomes about proving something. To friends, to family, to strangers on social media. The newest phone, the flashy car, the expensive vacation posted online. All of it can become less about enjoying life and more about being seen a certain way. People with a rich mindset spend on things that align with their actual goals and values, quietly, without needing an audience to validate every purchase. Ironically, the people who care least about looking rich are very often the ones who actually become wealthy. Mistake number 8. Surrounding yourself with people who validate your excuses instead of challenging them. If everyone around you agrees that investing is too risky, that starting a business never works, that the economy makes it impossible to get ahead, you will believe them, because that's genuinely how social environment works on the human brain. People with a rich mindset actively seek out people who are further ahead financially, not to feel bad about it, but to learn what they're actually doing differently. Mistake number 9. Seeing failure as identity instead of as information. A failed investment, a business idea that didn't work, a bad financial decision made 5 years ago, none of that has to define you. People with a poor mindset treat one failure as proof they shouldn't try again. People with a rich mindset treat every failure as expensive, valuable data, and adjust the next attempt based on exactly what went wrong. Almost every wealthy person you've ever heard of has a failure story sitting right before their success story. They just didn't let that failure become the final chapter. So here's the honest summary of everything we just covered. None of these 9 mistakes are about how much money someone currently makes. A high earner can make every single one of these mistakes, and a modest earner can avoid all 9 and end up ahead of them within a decade. It's never really about the paycheck. It's about which of these 9 patterns you're currently running, often without even noticing it. Pick just one of them this week, the one that stung the most while you were watching, and change that single pattern deliberately, starting today. Small, repeated decisions are the entire mechanism behind both outcomes, wealth and struggle. They just take years to become visible. If this helped you see your own money habits a little more clearly, follow Dollar Den. We break down real financial mindsets every single week, without the confusing jargon, so you always know exactly where you stand.